All right, time to talk about something very important. Everybody's probably heard the term ADHD, but they're not exactly sure what does that mean. Well, many children with ADHD experience a lot of difficulty in school. That's what it means for them, but with the right support, ADHD can be managed. Here to tell us more about that is Dr. Pat Thrasher. He's a psychiatrist and a founding board member and current chair of the board at Chesapeake Bay Academy. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know this is it's a common and commonly misunderstood difficulty that a lot of children have.
Well, not only children, maybe 3 to 8 or even more of children can be diagnosed with ADHD, but 5% of adults have ADHD as well. It's a problem of executive functioning in the brain. Executive functions are things like memory, concentration, planning and problem solving. And when the frontal lobes of the brain don't put out enough signal to more primitive parts of the brain to slow them down and allow them to focus on important issues and ignore other things, then the result can be attention deficit disorder, which involves not being able to pay attention and focus, not being able to listen when spoken to, and then it can involve impulsivity, blurting out answers before the question has been asked.
So how will, if parents are starting, if they've got a young child in school and they're starting to hear these things from the teacher, you know, so-and-so doesn't remember, can't sit still. A lot of people look for that hyperactivity component, but that's not always there, is it?
No, inattention can be a very big problem. And the child who isn't creating a disturbance in the classroom can be overlooked.
Yeah.
And it's very important. If there's any concern about the child's ability to focus, to pay attention, if they're not performing up to their capacity in school, the place to begin is with your pediatrician. There are rating scales, such as the Connors rating scale, that can help the teacher and the parent describe their behavior and be able to present it to the pediatrician to help make a diagnosis.
How important is it for parents to be able to, and to get some support when it comes to accepting that diagnosis? In my house, we're working backwards. I was diagnosed with ADD first, now at 39 years old. Now we're keeping a very close eye on the kids. In other families, it might be the child first. Should the parents be, how do parents keep an open mind about the diagnosis for their child and maybe even consider that strong genetic link that might be there in terms of maybe it's me, maybe it's my husband, to start asking about family history?
Well, education.
Yeah.
And there are lots of great resources available. There are resources on Chesapeake Bay Academy's website and lots of resources on the web to learn about ADHD. You know, and people react as though it's bad news. You know, this is a terrible thing. But ADHD is treatable and doesn't have to limit a person's success in life. And there are lots of very creative and successful people that have attention deficit hyperactivity.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. See, and I almost just interrupted you. See how I am. But the bottom line is, you know, those young years didn't have to be so hard for me. They don't have to be so hard for your children either, if you can be aware and go ahead and get that treatment. Thank you so much for that perspective on ADHD, ADD. If you want more information about it or all the wonderful things going on at Chesapeake Bay Academy, read their academic blog at School of Thought. You can call or visit online, Chesapeake Bay Academy. The number is 497-6200. The website is www.cba-va.org, and we'll put this information at our website too. Thanks so much. It was nice to meet you.
Thank you. Good to meet you.